Welcome to FundaTech Insights, the show where we break down the stock market stories. I am your host.
And I'm Mary. Today we're diving into a quarterly report that takes a sharp turn from the usual biotech storyline. Leap Therapeutics' latest 10Q, which actually belongs to a company now renamed Cypherpunk Technologies, Inc.
Yeah, this one has biotech, restructuring, and even cryptocurrency. So let's unpack how all of that fits together.
So right off the top, the biggest headline isn't a number, it's the identity shift. After the quarter ended, Leap Therapeutics officially changed its name to Cypherpunk Technologies, Inc., signaling a new strategy focused on building a digital asset treasury, mainly Zcash.
And just so listeners don't panic, the biotech work isn't disappearing. It's moving into a newly formed subsidiary that's keeping the old name, Leap Therapeutics, Inc. So think of it as the sciences going into a side room while the parent company experiments with a new direction.
Exactly. It's two paths under one roof now.
With that context, let's look at the quarter's numbers. They ended Q3 with $9.7 million in cash, which is a big drop from the $47.2 million they had at the end of 2024.
That shrinking cash pile makes more sense once you see the loss figures. For the first 9 months of 2025, the company logged a net loss of $35.4 million. Q3 alone was about $3.3 million.
And when you add up years of biotech spending, their accumulated deficit is now over $502 million.
Which sets the stage for why the company had to reshape operations so aggressively.
One of the most striking shifts this quarter was R&D. Last year, R&D for the same period was about $14.9 million. This quarter, just $1.247 million.
That's because they wrapped up their Defiance trial, cut back manufacturing activities, and began winding down major programs.
And that transition isn't just financial, it's intertwined with the workforce changes they made.
Right. They went through a major restructuring that affected around 75% of employees that led to $4.527 million in restructuring charges.
And it didn't end there. They still had $2.204 million in remaining severance obligations at quarter end.
So when you connect the dots, reduced programs, reduced workforce, reduced R&D, the company was clearly preparing for a pivot.
And that pivot became even clearer after the quarter closed. In October 2025, the company completed a large private placement, raising $58.88 million gross, about $57 million net.
The raise was led by Winklevoss Treasury Investments, which already tells you the direction things were heading.
Out of that $57 million, about $7 million is earmarked directly for operations.
With the allocation, management says they have at least a 12-month runway from when they issue the statements.
Which means the rest of that money is free to support their new digital ambitions.
Now here's where the story turns unconventional for a biotech. Cypherpunk plans to deploy part of its cash into Zcash, building a digital asset treasury. They even adapted new accounting standards to disclose crypto activity property.
And they will readily disclose that they acquired crypto after the quarter end. So this is not theoretical, it's underway.
From an investor point of view, this adds a whole new layer of volatility and uncertainty.
But to be fair, if crypto rallies, it also opens the door for non-traditional upside. It's a high risk, high variance move layered on top of biotech risk.
A lot to juggle. So what should listeners watch next?
First, how much of the new cash actually gets converted into Zcash? Second, any updates from the biotech subsidiary. Third, any warrant exercises or further financing moves.
And of course, how the company balances or shifts between biotech and crypto.
Alright, that's our breakdown of Cypherpunk Technologies' latest quarterly filing. All details came straight from the company's 10Q and subsequent disclosures. That's all for today's episode of FundaTech Insights.
Remember, folks, this isn't financial advice, just mild market therapy.
Catch us in the next episode when Maddie explains about next stock. Till then, take care of yourselves. Bye and keep investing.